Hey everyone, it's Thursdays at 3. We're a little running late because we had to scramble because, of course, what went out at the main stage right before we went live? Our Wi-Fi. Good old Wi-Fi problems as always. Glad you're watching Thursday, August 12th. Man, this week has flown by, but we're excited to have a great show right around the corner. Hey, Mr. Braden, hope you're doing well down in the Dallas area. We miss you here. Hopefully all is going absolutely well. Cindy says, hi, Always Pets Clan was spectacular. Cindy Bulla was excellent. Agreed, Cindy. In fact, we want to thank everyone who came and saw Always Patsy Cline. They ended their legendary historical run this past weekend. It was epic. The last Sunday show was filled with all the emotions and everything. So if you got to see the show, thank you so much for coming out and seeing the show. It was absolutely, oh my gosh, just a great way to end that historical run of that show. And what a great way to kick off our ALT main stage season. It was great. Since I've last seen you guys with Thursdays at 3, we have another cast that's in rehearsals. Sound of Music, that's right. Sound of Music started rehearsals this past week on Monday. We had our cast meeting and started vocal rehearsals. We started dance rehearsals as well. The cast is doing absolutely fantastic. Seriously, they sound amazing. They have all of the great, just that rich sound to their voices. It's going to be a great show. The kids have been working hard, and we've had a day rehearsal, and yeah, it's going to go great. So congrats to the Sound of Music cast. And also we have some great new faces in that show as well, which is very exciting. So you'll want to mark your calendars. We open that in about a month. But before that, we want to let you know this coming weekend, we have Saturday, our ALT open house. That's right. That's Saturday, August 14th from 2 to 5 o'clock. Over at the ALT Alan Schenkel's main stage. Basically, we want you to come and learn more about how you can be involved at ALT. We have volunteer information, we'll have season ticket information, producer circle information about our academy classes. If you want to tour the theater, if you've always thought, I want to know what it looks like backstage or those dance studios or something like that. And the Royal Bar is providing our appetizers and cocktails. So if that's not a big enough reason to come, I don't know what else would be. We're very excited to have that. So bring a friend if someone has always been interested in learning how to audition for a show at the theater, or maybe they want to know how they can help out backstage or anything like that. Let them know to come to this open house again this Saturday at the main stage. It's going to be a great event. We also, I think, are giving away some tickets to Sound of Music, I think. So we will have some sort of drawing for that as well. But what we want to talk about is what's the next show on the horizon, and that's Calendar Girls. That's right. Calendar Girls opens right around the corner, August 19th through the 29th. This show is going to be absolutely fantastic. We have 2 of the leads here with us today. Before we talk to them, though, we want to let you know that there's still positions for 3 people to help backstage. So if you would like to volunteer to work Calendar Girls, you can email Lissa right there, lissa@amarillo.littletheater.org. Help us out. We need some people helping with some set changes and different things like that. So again, the run is August 19th through the 29th. And I believe that volunteer position would start this coming Sunday. But if you've always wanted to be involved at the theater and be involved in the show, come on out. Text Lissa or email Lissa, and let's get you on the production team, on the crew. We would love to have you. Okay, let's bring in our 2 actresses, our ALT actresses. You know them, you love them. We'll first bring in Miss Jo. Hey, Miss Jo.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, great.
We had a scramble.
A little sleepy.
Like, Wi-Fi's out. Scramble. Let's go to the other space.
Yeah.
I love it.
Run.
Yeah, exactly. And then let's bring in Miss Shannon. Shannon is at a work event. She ran outside real quick on her cell phone to be a part of this. Hey, Miss Shannon, how are you today?
I'm good.
Oh, no, we keep losing her. Okay, she's going to pop back in. She's like, I'm good, and then it cuts out.
It's just a town. There's Wi-Fi issues in the whole town of Amarillo.
Exactly. It's like, well, we went to get Miss. Wait, I see her popping back in backstage. Here we go, Miss Shannon. Bring you back in. There you are. We see you. Can you see us and hear us, Shannon?
Okay, I'm trying to get where I can hear you. It's breaking up really badly.
We can hear you really well, and we can see a still photo of you.
I can see her walking. She's walking.
Okay, Shannon, I'm gonna come right back to you. Look, perfect. I can see you backstage when you get all situated backstage. Perfect. So Joe, first off, let's talk about what is Calendar Girls.
Calendar Girls is based on the movie from 2003 that told the story of a group of ladies in Great Britain who did an alternative calendar to raise money for cancer research.
Gotcha. And it was based, of course, on the 2003 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I think when Shannon started her car, maybe it went away. I was about to go to Shannon. First of all, real quick, people are saying, Susan says, can't wait, saw the movie and loved it. Terry says, hi, I'm watching this in the dark with my ear pods while Jules is napping in my arms. Glad to bring you entertainment, Miss Terry. I love it. Susan says, I would love to help, but it may be rough having me and Shannon together. Susan is Shannon's mom. I love it. She says, love Miss Joe.
Oh, love you too.
Yeah, so the 2003 movie, of course, is what this show kind of came to fruition from. Okay, here comes back Miss Shannon. Shannon, we see you now. Shannon, you're like our the reporter that's live on the scene. I like it. Can you hear us, Shannon? Test 1, 2, 3.
Is she driving to better internet? Is that
I
a thing?
can't understand anything.
Shannon, I feel like you're like chasing the twister down in the storm. Maybe I bet you she might be headed this way. Because she was just around the corner. Let's see.
I can actually understand you. So I'm actually going to drive to the theater. If you'll take me out,
Yeah.
I'm going to be there in like a minute.
Perfect. Awesome. We'll see you. Get here safely, Miss Shannon. I love it. That's perfect. Susan says, frozen on the scene. It's so true. So the 2003 movie, Miss Joe, did you know the movie beforehand at all?
I had seen the movie back when it first came out. I saw it at the theater and loved it, and rewatched it again after I read the play just to see if it was the same. I mean, of course, the through line of the story is the same with just very small differences, but yes, same story. And I loved the story. So when it was put on our season, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yay, in a show. Yay.
And we should talk about that. So how it got on our season, some of you who have our ALT calendar, it says TBA. So we always try to find, of course, scripts when the calendar's coming out, but sometimes we just don't have all of the scripts picked out. And so this show, in fact, was kind of on our radar years and years ago. Miss Cindy Singleton brought it to our attention. She said there's this great play that's based off of the movie Calendar Girls. And it was kind of after we did Full Monty. And she was kind of saying there's this great other script. And randomly, one of the times that I was in New York City, I was at the New York Drama Bookstore. And I was just looking at scripts like I usually do. And there was Calendar Girls laying right there on one of the shelves. And I grabbed it and bought it and didn't read it. I just bought it and kept it because I was like, oh, that's that script that somebody has recommended to ALT. And so then when we were looking at options, Joe, you kind of brought up like, oh, don't forget we have that one script. And I said, I have a copy of it. And so that kind of got passed around the staff. And we all fell in love with it. And it definitely could have been a show on the main stage. Could have, I mean, yes, it's rated R. There's really just one bad word in the show. But of course, the subject matter might make people a little uneasy. But it was a show that we fell in love with and thought, well, this could still be done at the Adventure Space and kick off our Adventure Space series. And so we were really excited when the whole staff read it and was like, yes, let's go with this show and kick off our great season with that. In the meantime, Kirsten says, hello, Joe, Hannah, and Jason. Hello, Kirsten. Hope you're doing well. So so we picked Calendar Girls, and quickly it was kind of like, we got to get the show, we got to get a director, and we got to get a cast and all that stuff. It kind of hit the ground running. But luckily we were able to ask Terry Wilson, and she was very interested in directing at ALT, and it worked out great that she was like, yep, and read the script. And I think she read Act 1 and texted me that she was on board. She loved the script so well that she loved how it was written and how it just was really a strong script. Joe, when you first read the script, was it something that you immediately also thought, this is a great show, a great fit for ALT because of the subject matter?
I felt like this should be on the main stage because more people should see this. But, it didn't work out for us. And so, of course, put it on the Adventure Space season. But the story itself is just so heartwarming. I mean, there are places throughout the script where you're going to identify with each one of these women's stories and understand that this isn't just about this one thing. It's about empowering women and women lifting each other up. And it's just, the whole thing is just a positive look into the lives of these people. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
Oh, agreed. 100%. And there's some challenges, of course, whenever a movie is made into a play. We've seen that when movies are made into musicals like Mamma Mia or Legally Blonde, because there's so many locations and just so many things that aren't necessarily written for the stage. Have you seen a little bit of that as well with this show? This just in. Who's there, Shannon? Shannon, we kept saying that you were like the reporter on the scene. Like,
I know, and it was glitching. It was like school Wi-Fi, tax dollars at work.
It's the same Wi-Fi that we have at the main stage, pretty much. And it's only on Thursdays. On Thursdays, it's like, and I'm tired. Yeah. Shannon, let's ask you about whenever you first read the script. Were you familiar with the movie beforehand?
I saw the movie years ago and had honestly kind of forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And so I saw that it was coming, and I thought, oh, I need to order that script. And so I ordered it immediately because I adore Terry Wilson. I think she's just brilliant. And I thought, I've got to audition for the show. So I ordered it and read it. And within the first few pages, I was in love.
Sure.
So I rewatched the movie again. And I mean, the movie's hysterical, but I think the play is funnier. And I think the play has more heart.
I agree. I think that you get to know the people, you get to know the characters better. And it isn't because it's a 4-hour play. So suddenly you get more insight to the people.
Yeah.
I just feel like the characters are more fully realized as people in the play.
Well, and the relationships are more, I don't know, what am I trying to say? The relationships, I think, are more realized because the play really kind of strips down the story and gets to the meat of the relationship between those 6 women, especially the relationship between Annie and Chris.
Well, let's talk about the characters that you guys play. Yeah.
Right.
Who y'all play.
The play takes out a lot of the extraneous,
all the other storylines. Yeah.
So you guys basically play best friends, and friends that one might get another one involved in something that is like, oh my gosh, another project or another situation. And I think, I think it's always worked so well when it comes to plays or movies, that Thelma and Louise character, the Lucy and Ethel characters, the duo that has just been so well done over and over again. And I feel like your 2 characters are similar in style for sure.
There's definitely the straight man and the comedian.
Sure. Well, and don't you think too, this show is all about, it's about women coming together, but really about friendship. I mean, the things that you do for each other and having a friend there for you on, tough times that you may have and stuff like that. I got to watch last night's rehearsal and just was reminded about how beautiful the story is about friendship. I mean, it has so many other themes to it too, but I think that the friendship theme is something that I, as a male, could identify with and find value in.
Well, you see so many of the other friendships, the other, the six pack is what we're referred to within our rehearsal setting, the
Sure.
six women, and you get to see the evolution and the personality meshing of the other ladies as well. It's not just a focus on
Right.
the two lead characters. There are all these other relationships that become clearly defined, and you see the way Celia and Cora lift each other up, and
Yeah.
the way that Ruth becomes a confidant for people. I mean, little bitty subtle things like that point out how much more there is to a female group,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going on in their emotions and personalities and connections.
Well, and what it means to be female. But I mean, I think the things in the relationships that you see in the show are not just applicable to females. I think it's applicable to, anybody of any age, any race, shape, form, whatever. It's just the basic human necessity to be a part of something. And I love how, this cast is just brilliant. We really are. I'm not patting myself on the back. The work that is being done by this cast is just astounding. And every night there's something new.
Sure.
I look over and I see little looks between actors. Even somebody with the smallest little part becomes a major player in this show and is just doing brilliant work. And forming instant relationships with us. And what's really cool is the six pack, as the six of us have come together over the past 4 weeks, we've grown to trust each other. And it's really interesting to see how that has played into our characters. And it's also really interesting to see how the character relationships grow over the span of a year.
Sure.
Trust and love grows between people who were friends, but not close, and how everything bonds you together
over the year, meaning over the course, of the play, the timeline of the play, the development in those.
Well, and let's talk about the other six. We have Connie Kennedy playing Jessie, which audiences have seen her recently in productions of Good People and The Humans and different things like that. Then we, of course, have Carrie Huckabee, and she's playing Celia, correct? Yes. And of course, has done many shows at the theater. And exciting for her, this is her true adventure space show. She said that Always a Bridesmaid, even though it was at the adventure space, it was supposed to be at the main stage. So she's like, yes, it's like her true adventure space show, which I love. Then, of course, we have Jerry Tidmore, who's playing Cora, and this is her first play with us. We've known her, of course, from her gorgeous singing and dancing in musicals, which I think is just great. Melanie Sanders, who plays Ruth, and has been, in tons of shows at the ALT. So you guys have a core of some, veterans and some new veterans, which is great. What was it like? What did you guys do to make sure to work on that aspect of an ensemble? I feel like really you guys have, some of you have worked together in other shows and different things like that. But like, for example, other than Christmas Carol, this is y'all's first time together, I think, on stage, right?
It's the very first Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how has that been as far as building that ensemble, especially with the six pack?
It hasn't really been a very concentrated effort. It's just been organic building.
Yeah. And really we were like an instant group.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to mix the soup very hard from day one. Carrie was like, okay, quit talking, we've got to rehearse, because we all just were instantly bonded, because we all knew each other in some realm and facet, because we're all connected here. And so we didn't have to work real hard to build those relationships.
Sure.
But we do open every single rehearsal doing Tai Chi.
Yeah, and I love that. That's part of the show. That's not giving anything away, but I love that each rehearsal that you guys do that as an ensemble, just to kind of get your focus in and get ready for put in the work. I love that. Of course, other great, amazing actors. We have Treva, Miss Anne Langford, Debbie Perry, Nick Sage Palmieri. Brandon Graves is in the show. Cheyenne Haynes, who's been in one show, she's making her Adventure Space debut with us. So some great other names, of course, that are in this
Steve
show.
Parker and Justin Lowe play our husbands.
Yes. So great mix of course, ALT. Some faces that have been around, and then of course some faces that are fairly new. But the new person in the room, not new necessarily at ALT, but new in her position, Terry Wilson. She's making her ALT directorial debut with us. How has that been, having a brand new director that you guys have worked with in different aspects before, but now taking the director's chair? How has that been?
It's been great. I have a lot of respect for Terry and her work. It's my first time to work with her or spend any significant time with her.
Sure.
And I admire her vision. I appreciate having a female director. It's the first time I have ever had a female director.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been wonderful. I'm glad that we got her, and I hate for her sake that she got this hard show.
Yeah.
So much difficulty in the production of this show. It is tricky. Very
it's been a really interesting experience for me, because Terry really comes from an educational theater background, and the way that she, her directional theory and the way that she approaches rehearsals is really educational theater, which is of course where I work. But then, it's not the normal ALT rehearsal period. And so there's been some adjustment, but I think it's been really good, because she let us play as actors.
Sure.
We just kind of sat back and observed. And then after we played a little bit and we brought what we had to the table, then she went, okay, now I'm going to mold you. And she then took, what we naturally brought to the table as actors for our characterization and for movement and all of that. And she has shaped it into just a really touching, hilarious, brilliant piece of art that I'm very proud of.
Yeah, and I agree. I thought, when we knew we were going to do this show, we felt we had to have a female point of view directing the show, because it's such a sensitive topic with the staging of the show, of course, but also we wanted to make sure to have that perspective. And I think Terry has definitely hit it out of the park. There's so many hilarious moments. There's some poignant moments. There's some moments that just make you so grateful for the people that you have in your life, and your mom, and you just want to hug everyone, and just it's just a beautiful story, I think.
And each character has a moment where she delivers a speech that really speaks to the female experience, but again is worldly. Yes, we experience these things as women, because Connie has a speech about being an older woman and being called, well, a woman of your age, that when it goes, wow. But then it's also, just not just being a woman of that age, but being a human of that age. And then Carrie has a beautiful speech about what it's like to be a woman and having to hide your body. And, everybody has these moments, that really speak to the human experience. And, and then there's always a line that comes right after that is just a zinger. You'll be crying, and then you'll belly laugh. It's wonderful.
No, completely agreed. Yeah, I agree. So obviously this is based on a true story, that this actually happened, where ladies decided to raise some money for the Leukemia Research Center. Were you guys able to do any research on the actual women who produced the calendar? I know that Terry brought the actual images of the calendar that were used, which I thought was brilliant. I thought that was so neat.
Yeah, she brought one of the very first rehearsals, she said, this is the person, these are the people, these are the actual pictures. And and since then she's brought in other things, and some of us have gone on and looked to see who these real people are. And so it's really kind of important, I think, to me, at least as an actor, that I know that there is an Annie that is still alive somewhere, and I better do her justice.
Sure. Well, and I think it's so important too with the subject matter of the show. Yes, it seems like, it's just all fun and games and stuff sometimes when you think about the premise of the show, but but the message that you guys are putting on the stage, and the message that audience members are wanting to hear and come to the theater for. Joe, if you don't mind sharing the story that you shared with me earlier today about, luckily you get to work in the box office, so you get to hear a little bit more about who's coming to see the show. But your story about the 6 women who are bringing a 7th woman, I just love that. Can you share that story real quick?
We've had a group of women who have been trying to schedule this birthday week celebration. There's some women in their 70s or so, and there are 6 of them. They have all these plans, and their focal point was Calendar Girls. They wanted to bring the group to Calendar Girls, and they had some snafus. They picked a date, it was sold out. They had to do all these connecting together and getting it worked out. Well, in the process of this, they connected with a friend who has a 30-year-old daughter who is in the last stages of a brain cancer. And this woman has been dealing with this for years, and is now in a position where her daughter has ended up in the hospital with the coronavirus, and she's just a mess. One of the ladies found out about this and said, "Hey, come, you need a break, come to Calendar Girls." And she just was so touched. She was she's heartbroken about her situation, but lifted up because they're gonna include her in this event that they're doing. And the fact that they lifted her up that way, and she was so grateful about it. It reminded all of us that we're here telling a story that is not maybe what we were thinking when we set out for this. We may not have thought about the heavier part of the story at that point, but you hear these people talk about the reasons they're coming, and it reminds you why these stories are so important to be told. Why we have to do what we do, because that's what's going to help this woman get through just one day of what she's dealing with.
And that's a heavy thing to have on your shoulders. But as actors, that's our job, is to relieve people of their reality for 2 hours. To enlighten, to entertain, to make people think. I mean, I'm sure there'll be people who watch this show thinking, "Oh, I need to go maybe get myself checked out, or I need to follow up on my friend who's struggling right now," or different things like that. And I think that, yes, we can say all the tongue-in-cheek things about the show, but the biggest message of the show is really is that story that you just told of telling the story and enlightening so many people in our community about how important it is to love the ones that you love and hold them close and be there, be a friend for those who are in need, for sure. I love that you guys are going to be able to provide just that 2 hours of and it'll be emotional, I'm sure, for that group, but what a great outlet that they can go somewhere and say, "Oh, other people have gone through this. Other people are going through this, and this is a message that it's okay to talk about, and if they want to," which I think is very important for sure.
Well, and the show does a little bit of PSA through line about, there are several different points in the show where it talks about getting things checked out, and people need to not be afraid to do this. I mean, there is that underlying thing there saying, don't sit back and just let something happen when you can be in charge of yourself or in control of your health or whatever, to the best of your ability. There is that through line too. So.
Well, and not just for the female, for everyone in that comes to see the show. Sure, it's definitely a good reminder for sure. With this show, real quick, there's some quick comments. Dakota says, "Joe has been an absolute masterclass since day one. There have been many times used with Joe, for sure." Susan says, "Can't wait to see those girls doing Tai Chi." I love it.
She's going to be horribly disappointed.
Hannah said, love my sweet mom. I'm so proud of her always and can't wait to see these amazing ladies in this show. So excited. So excited. So many of your family members, moms, sisters, daughters are going to come see this, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic for sure. So obviously with this show, the immediate thing people think about is the unveiling of the moment of the photographs and stuff like that. And that's, I'm sure, has been very challenging to make sure that it's done well, that you guys are all feel safe and comfortable, but that it does still the service to the show. How has that process been for you guys? I'm sure that not only, of course, the amount of trust that you had to have in each other and the director, but also just the trust in yourself that you're going to be like, okay, I signed up to do this, I auditioned for this, and that mental kind of preparedness for it. Talk me through that process for you guys.
Well, the very first rehearsal that we conquered that scene, of course, we didn't have a set yet. We weren't even sure where things are going to be. And I mean, all of us really did get very, very uncomfortable.
Sure.
It was very emotional and very anxious in the theater that night. And I mean, there were a couple of the ladies that said, you know what, I don't think I can do this. And Terry said, you knew what you were signing up for. And we were like, but still, it's here.
Yeah.
And now we're really doing it. And I think the further we've gone, and every time, we had to learn, we really did have to learn to trust each other, even though we really, there already was some trust between us. But this is a level that none of us had been to before. And every night one of us says, we're going to be friends for life now, because we're sharing all our secrets. And, but Terry has been very conscious of making sure that we feel secure, that we feel safe, making people, even before we start, because we really haven't started doing costumes much. We kind of started.
So we're not totally disrobing.
Yeah, we're not yet.
So.
But she still has, some other actors that are not in those scenes. Sit here, make sure you can't see her side. Sit here, make sure you can't see her, whatever. And making sure and saying, okay, what can you see? All right, let's adjust. And so Terry's been very, very conscious of that. We've been cautious of each other also, and making sure that we are really saving each other.
We have to make sure that our friends are not exposed. I mean, people can make jokes about it, but it's not something that we take lightly at all.
Right.
I mean, the fact that you can sense the discomfort in some patrons when they reference the show as the naked show or the whatever, and that kind of thing sits in the back of your brain all the time, that's what people are thinking. And we have to let that go and say, it's not the naked show, it's something else. And we're going to make sure of that. We're going to make sure that Shannon never worries. She never has to worry whenever we do her thing. She's not going to worry.
Right. And the thing and I don't know, I can only speak to myself. But I know I am a woman of a certain body type, and when I got cast, as a matter of fact, even before I got cast, I was very excited to audition for the show. I loved the show. I loved Terry. I knew some of the other women that were auditioning, and I thought, man, if I can just get in that company, I don't even care who I play. If I can just get in that company, I'm going to be with the A-list of ALT, and then I got to the auditions and got to callbacks, and Jerry Tidmore and I rode to auditions and callbacks together. And on the ride home, I looked at her and I said, there's no way I can be cast in this show, because nobody wants to see this. And so all of us are very body conscious too, and it is scary thinking that, so-and-so is going to walk out saying, oh, I can't believe they cast her because look at what she looks like, and I hope that nobody feels that way. Right. And there is even a line in the show that
the whole point, there is a line that says, that's the point.
That's the point.
Having everybody,
we're not showing
this person and that person.
Yeah. And I think it's Jude that says it, it's not about having a perfect body. It's about showing the real human. And so that's the important thing that I hope everybody takes back, is that you do not have to be the perfect size 6, with everything firm and in the right place for you to be understood and loved and honored as a human being.
Yeah.
So,
Because what is perfect?
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
who's to determine that? Who's
Right.
to say?
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Well, I again last night when I saw the rehearsal was just like, wow, this is going to be absolutely amazing, and almost like I kept thinking, I wonder if it was like the very first company of hair that was like, okay, we're gonna do hair now. But I just thought,
Well, thank God it's not hair.
yeah, exactly. Yes. But I just kept thinking, like, you guys are just not only brave to sign up for this, but just it almost like empowers you even more. Like, look what I can do. Look what I did to tell the story and to these characters. And I just was just so excited and so proud of all of you guys. Not only just the 6 of you, everyone in the cast for being a part of the show, because it could easily go that tongue-in-cheek, just silly, show, but there's so much more to this show. It's so much, and it's so tastefully done when it comes to those moments of photos. Like, you've seen nothing. Like, you literally seen nothing.
You really do. And people keep referencing the Full Monty. Whenever they talk to me about it, they're like, "Oh, is this like the female Full Monty?" And I'm like, I mean, but the Full Monty also kind of dealt with some of those issues of what is it to be a man, and your body is not something to be ashamed of. But the way that this is done, you see more on a beach than you're gonna see.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like literally all of you could be wearing strapless dresses almost at some point, and and it would be the same as what you're being. How you're being covered up right now, which is great.
And I hate to reveal something, but in all of the publicity shots, we all are wearing strapless stuff. So, they got naked. No,
sure. Well, the
great thing to give away the secrets.
Hey, I'm a teacher. I have to protect myself.
Right. What we'll do too is we'll have those photos and we'll be able to share those through our email blast when we advertise the show. But I saw some of them today and was just like, they're beautiful. Is that Miss Terry? Miss Terry, a sneak peek of our guest for next week. Terry Wilson.
We have a guest.
Woo, extraordinaire. It's like, never mind that man behind the curtain, like in Wizard of Oz. The random head comes through. I love it. Terry, I'm going to ask you a ton of questions next week about directing, since you'll be my guest for Thursdays 3. But real quick, since we're on this subject matter, how has it been for you directing these amazing women in these moments, these revealing moments, both figuratively and literally in the show? I mean, I know you have done a really good job of like double checking sightlines and making sure the actors feel comfortable. But as a director, how has that been for you?
You have to be willing to collaborate.
Yeah.
I mean, as a director, sure, you come in with your own idea of what the show should look like, but you also have to let the actors work with what they think it should look like. And then on top of that, you have to be able to caress them into make the best performance that they can give.
Sure.
In the end, my job is to make sure that they're reaching the potential that maybe they don't know they have, but that they're reaching the best part of that character that they've got.
Yeah, 100%.
Hopefully in the end, we don't really know where I end and their actor starts. Hopefully that's what it looks like. Yeah,
no, I love that. I think that's beautiful for sure. And the great thing with this show is all the ensemble aspects. Yes, there's the 6, but then like each of you have your relationship with your husband, and then Marie comes in and everyone's just kind of demeanor and stuff like that. But I just love the relationship with Marie. The strict kind of WI leader, if you will. But I really do think audiences are going to just embrace this show. I think some people are going to come in thinking, oh, we're going to have just this like tongue-in-cheek fun time, and then leave going, I should have brought tissues. Oh my God. I had no idea that I was going to be so moved by this piece. And that's what theater is. That's what theater is supposed to do, which I think is great. Yeah, because as vulnerable as we get physically, we are a lot more emotionally vulnerable in this show than I myself have ever been as an actor, and I've done some pretty meaty roles, but I really, my character at least goes through a lot of turmoil, and I've allowed myself to become more emotionally vulnerable in these rehearsals. And I think it's because of the company, the cast, and the fact that
that Terry has been so gentle in her direction. It's allowed us to open up. And so, you know, being behind, you know, a giant teapot is not the most vulnerable moment.
I love it. I love it. Wouldn't it be funny if we just had Mrs. Potts like the?
You know what? I would go with that. Can we
we'll have Anna Bond as her Academy costume just hanging out.
Yeah, if we could just have Mrs. Potts stand in front of me, I'd be fine.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, it goes.
Of course, we need a giant daisy for you.
Yes, exactly. We have some sunflower costumes upstairs from when I did Shrek many years ago.
There you go.
We want to remind audiences, of course, they need to get their tickets. Right now, some tickets have been sold out because we're waiting to find out the exact number of seats and sight lines and stuff like that. So for some reason, if there's a show that is sold out, be sure to get on the wait list for that show because some more seats may open up once we get all of the seating situated in the adventure space. But we want to remind you, August 19th, that's next Thursday, shows at 7:30, then Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock, and then Sunday matinee on the 22nd at 2:30. Then the following week as well, 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. So 2-weekend run at, of course, our ALT Adventure Space. There's that image there if you forgot what it looks like. And we want to make sure you guys get these tickets because once people see the show, definitely I think are going to want to come back. I think what's going to happen is people are going to come see the show maybe with their husband or somebody, and then they're immediately going to think of 6-7 people that they want to see the show with. They're going to call their friends, their family members, and come back to see the show with those people and experience the show with them. I think we're going to have a lot of people do that. So don't miss out, everyone. Come see the show with everyone that you love. Everyone that you love, bring them to come see the show. Thank you guys so much for indulging me with our Thursdays at 3 and our escapades of Wi-Fi. It's always fun.
I think this was a show about Wi-Fi first.
Yeah. It started off with a show about Wi-Fi and then led into Calendar Girls for sure. Yeah. Also, we don't want you to forget if you want to be a part if you want to be a part of this magic, don't forget there's still some backstage opportunities to be on the running crew. You can email Miss Lissa, volunteer by emailing lissa@amarillo.littletheater.org. Also, Terry, you can update me. Are we still in need of a projector?
Yes.
So if you have an old school kind of projector, we need one for the show. It doesn't need to work. We just need it to sit pretty and make its debut on our stage. So if you have one, also email. You can also email Lissa there, and she will get in contact or email me, Jason@AmarilloLittleTheater.org. We want to remind everyone, of course, also don't forget this Saturday, our ALT Open House, 2 to 5 at the ALT Allen Shingles main stage. It's going to be a great event. Bring a friend, bring somebody. If you want more information about Calendar Girls or get an ALT calendar, come on down to ALT. There'll be appetizers and cocktails provided by the Royal Bar, which is always great. And this, I can announce this. It's kind of unofficial. I mean, it's official, but I don't know if we've announced it to the cast. The cast party for Calendar Girls will be at the Royal Bar. Yeah, it's going to be a great event. So we'll get information to you guys in the cast about that. I love you guys so much. Again, last night's rehearsal was a rehearsal, and I still was so moved by it and laughed and just all the things. Didn't even have costumes or lights or not all the whole shebang, but it was still just a beautiful rehearsal. I cannot wait. I'll be there Sunday night to watch again. I'll be choreographing 16 going on 17 tonight as you guys are working over here. But I love you guys so much. And again, Terry, welcome to our ALT directing family. We're so excited. We can't wait to watch all your hard work pay off on our stage. Joe and Shannon, thank you for not only doing Thursdays at 3, but also being a part of this great show and for being so brave with the show as well. And I know audiences are going to love it. Next week we'll have Terry, and I think we're going to try to get some of the other 4 of the 6-pack. I love that you guys are called the 6-pack. I love that. It's fantastic. And you guys have a fantastic rehearsal, and I shall see you all soon. Everyone who's watching Thursdays at 3, we'll see you next week on Thursdays at 3 when we'll have more of our Calendar Girls cast and, of course, Miss Terry Wilson. And hopefully we'll see you this weekend at our ALT Open House. Until then, we'll see you around. Thank you all very much.
Bye.